Well, good
Thank you.
start.
You just do that. You just do that thing. We tape in now. Okay. So, yeah, let's do your introduction.
You go ahead.
one
You
more
just
time.
introduce yourself.
Just introduce,
To
but I
you.
don't know where to start. I mean, I guess it
If she does
depends
the
on
exact same thing again, it's going to be
where
awesome.
the,
Keep doing.
I guess it depends on where the conversation goes. I've worn many hats. I mean, so Bella Sookdeo is my name.
Hello.
Hello, good night. I am a media personality. So right now I work on Hot 93. I am a full-time corporate career woman in cybersecurity. I also am a Latin and ballroom dancer. Socially, I would say socially now because I've not been like doing workshops or anything. I
Longest
fitness
interview.
influencer, entrepreneur. I don't know if you guys know, I had a fitness business. Be Fit with Bella was my brand. Be Fit was a brand. It represented, a lot of what Bella is today. Bella is actually my stage alter ego is what I call her. By day, I'm Christabella, and by night and everything else, I am Bella. So Bella, Be Fit with Bella, and it represented pretty much that alter ego side of me, and that's me. I guess it had things in the middle. I don't know. Your face is giving me. I want to ask something.
On we started.
I'm on. I'm on here.
I'm on the he show.
Right, good. I'm on the
He ho.
he ho
Sure.
show.
Lovely.
What's this? What do you have?
That's how time we subcounted now.
Because you lost count. I lost count during the podcast. That we losing count because
Because it's
you know,
steamy.
it's steaming. He. Oh, episode 66 or 66.
66.
66.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, episode
And
66.
we have
Nice.
a above 6 out of 10 here.
Oh,
That
thank
you
you.
ranking system now? That you ranking?
Okay, for our no. I'm not going to lie. It's going to sound in advance. It could go very left with the things that come out of my mouth. Please don't take anything I take.
I adapt. I don't worry about it.
Lovely.
Yes.
So, without ado, finally, Crystal.
Crystal Bell.
No,
Nah.
Chris. I don't know what sister. No.
I saw
Finally,
that,
you see,
sorry.
you've been begging me to get an Indian girl on the show. I had to go far and wide. You wanted us to go back to our roots, and we went back to these roots, and they are blood. So I'm not sure what tribe of the Kolkatas she came from.
I'm not sure either. Sorry. I wish I could help you there.
Now at
Yes.
23 and me.
Yeah, don't worry. We might.
Don't worry.
I don't know. So, yes, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And before we go completely left, Bella is remind me of our next type of Bella and from this website.
You find it already. Ah, why?
That's just it have
Was that a load suggestive?
a Bella Danger. As soon as I was like, when
Was the name? Was the name?
a
Was the
Bella
name?
Danger, like legit. And a line, I want to see how your hand with you say you take a left wing. I legit, when I heard Bella was coming, I was like, hold on, throw all this stuff apart. And then I saw, Bella Sookdeo.
Actually,
Not the one I thought.
Actually, Bella, what I
Right.
want to note is that this is the first time my brother actually put on his work clothes to come on the
Interesting.
Yeah,
on the
no, because
podcast.
we're not a cybersecurity expert. I'm a bit of a cybersecurity expert myself. So,
Oh, you are?
So
CPEP,
well,
Yeah.
I like
Alright.
cybersecurity.
the ensemble.
Yeah, no, you see how when the hee-haw people. Yeah, now they're the thing. Last time I wear a yellow tie was during a PNM rally, and I didn't know it was a PNM rally.
Bad idea.
My goodness.
Yeah, well, I went for like a youth.
I hope it wasn't in the east.
No,
Yeah.
it was in South. So it
Oh,
was
gosh,
like, no, it
nice.
was like for youth. It was like, it was youth and development.
Yeah.
But I went there for next reason. I didn't go there, no politics thing.
Right.
But
And you wore a yellow tie.
I am 100% not in any way politically affiliated.
Yeah.
And then is when I worry watch me. It's like,
Who watch it?
I worry watch me. Like they kind of
And he mustn't.
Yeah,
You were labeled affiliated that day, that's for sure.
I'm not affiliated. I just want to say that. But I was wearing a complete yellow tie. And then I was like, oh yeah. It have like a whole dichotomy here with
Tribal politics.
yeah. And my dog Howard, he was not liking that.
Yeah. Well, Bella, welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome to our humble side of listener land. We have a little budding podcast taking place here.
Yeah, we feeling at podcasting in a very successful way.
In a successful way. Is a way.
Feeling at podcasting in a very successful way. That's interesting.
As we keep going down and down in like, I don't know,
metrics, you want to call it?
Metrics, we get better guests. I have no idea why. We get better guests every week. And it's like,
if that is a cheat code, I have no problem.
Try less, guys. Maybe trying less is
Try less. That's the takeaway from today, right? Try less and more will happen.
That's a mantra. Maybe we should
about
try.
to make it a mantra, that's for sure. That's what it sounded like to me.
So here
you guys are the testament to that.
Well, we could be. If we really take into consideration that the guests actually getting better. So
yeah.
So I train what I like to do on shows is say wild shit. So to throw you off now.
All right, hit me.
All right, go ahead. So the beginning. Go ahead.
I have no. Yeah,
she begging for it.
No, it's not. She legit is playing with her fingers now. She's like, I want to get her off guard. So because when we come off the show, I'm gonna be like, yeah. So this, cool. Oh. And then while we on the show, it's gonna be wild and hysterical, and be like, is this his personality? It is for now. So my first question is,
yes.
Okay, are you at this point in time? I'm not sure if someone going cuss you when you come home, but like you're intimate with somebody. No, you have a boyfriend, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so you are predominantly East Indian, you would say, like you're East Indian.
Yes.
Have we reached the point of the epoch in Trinidad history where, yes, I have to. I'm trying to, where it's like, am I wondering if my guy is out in a Spanish club now?
If I'm wondering if he's out with a Spanish.
Well, like Spanish, because like, like a Spanish girl. Because like,
no, I don't think about that at all. Now, here's the thing with me though, it's funny that you say that. I feel like that is such a touchy topic as well. I feel like as people, we spend so much time trying to think about variables that really are not in our control at all. And then we end up spending so much mental energy on that versus focusing on self-development and self-awareness. So my thing is really self-development and self-awareness. If it comes to me, I'll deal with it. If it's not in front of me right now, then why am I calculating and thinking about all of those variables that really and truly has nothing to do with me?
Take home like a champ. That's what I like to do. You take that home. You take that home. Use a one after my own, but just in case it does end and stuff. Don't come in better than
I mean, we're not really trying to pick any side here.
No, but because there was an article written some years ago in the newspaper where it was just like an Indian woman was getting on. She was like, the Spanish women taking all our men, that kind of stuff. And like, that was the head articles, that the sex war. So do you think there's a sex war going on where you have to worry about Spanish girls are snatching up all the good? I'm not sure you don't like, what's your preference? First.
I'm straight.
No. Whoa, I didn't mean like that.
Well, that's what it sounded like he was asking me, to be honest. I feel like he was asking, it sounded like he was asking.
Was your sexual preference?
Yeah.
I meant like was it type of guy, I mean.
Not to make it into a Sex and the City episode.
Yeah. Right. That's a real difficult question for me to answer.
Okay, so she's was he wouldn't
she gets disowned. That's what
I get disowned.
She gets disowned. She done with the disowning. Love it.
You want bunks and everything on the table and all.
Love it. Okay, well then how mine with the Spanish girls? It does not apply.
But
we make an Indian girls great.
I don't know. I don't think I know enough to say if there is a war happening or not. I feel like, again, I'm in my own bubble of really just kind of focusing on self. So I don't really pay attention to. I don't pay attention to it, to be honest.
The word on the street is that there's a war. Right? We just reporting on
fellas, y'all should be the one telling me if there is a war. Has it been easier for you in this war to,
Let me explain.
Are you in the war?
Well, no.
Are you partaking?
The thing about it is what.
Are you mediating?
Remember, there was a point in time. Typically, the races kind of stuck to each other in Trinidad.
Right.
Then it had some brave warriors went across in the south side and in central. I was getting some straight ears, and then Gate happened. Thank you for the PMO UNC, whichever one made it
I
happen.
don't remember, yeah.
And
That was our
they
vision.
brought some gills up north side to get with the east-west
Vision
corridor.
2020. Bless you. Yeah.
Bless you again.
So at that point in time,
Wow.
when I was dating Indian girls at one point in time, yeah. Oh, that's things on poor Phoebe. Phoebe is not COVID, I swear. Is that pet allergy?
Go ahead, yeah.
Right. So at some point in time, it was you get seen with like as somebody with my ethnicity, you get seen with
Right.
the Indian girl is like, you're not worried about the dad or you're not worried about these things.
Being this one.
No, well, she didn't care. But I don't want me.
Yeah.
And then it became the fad to have an Indian girl at one point in time. Like a fad.
Right.
And then Spanish girls came in with the influx of the collapse of the economy. And then that was like, to me, the end of pure Indians. In
So I
general.
went out of style. That's what you're trying to say. I just
No,
went
yes,
out
no.
of
I'll
style.
explain this to you, Ms. Zumba instructor. You could ask him what I always say. I was like, at no point in time did I make that leap to
Right.
hyperspace.
Got you.
I all about MIGA, my mega hat, make
Right.
Indian girls again.
Yes.
Mack Indian girls again. Mack Indian girls again. That's
Okay, so that's
That's the
what-
that's your movement.
I was like, I vexed like you blonde your hair. I want to see you back down, I want you back regular schmegular. You didn't have to do cybersecurity. Let me just-
Right. Just
you was winning from rip, off rip. Just being, and then, so because then, do you know how to speak Spanish? Like, as we speak English, it's like
Yeah.
the same thing. Is that better?
is this
nicer.
a romantic side?
I'm not sure.
She
I'm
blushing.
not
She
sure.
kind of blushing.
Is
She
it?
blushing. Is she
Yeah.
blushing?
I
She
would
not
be-
saying
I
no,
wouldn't
you
even know.
She
But-
not saying no. Is my point.
So this is like a little because today is actually Wednesday. So it's a Wednesday evening, kind of like shoot the breeze afterwards.
My thing about it is, at what point in time will you confess and have to tell this next guy? And I get coffee in my face. That's what I'm trying to figure out. When this has happened, like first, second, third date. No, okay, never mind.
Yeah. So we out to the twilight zone, right?
Yeah, I told you I'm trying to.
Yeah.
All right. So Bella, welcome again. Yeah. So we coming back to the Landy little plane.
Yeah, let's come back.
I feel like I was
come
in a
back to
BB plane just now.
Yeah, boy.
Hey. It's all good. It's all good.
That
So-
plane had turbulence.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a nice side.
No,
I don't
but
really
no.
see my virgin. I just
Really?
No, I really don't
Oh.
see him so on a regular basis. He's calm. He trying to.
Nah, today was a very hard day.
Oh,
and
that's
just
so
need to
shit.
talk some SH.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Tell me something about Zumba now. What the hell is really Zumba?
Look how you trying to just act normal
Wow.
like the whole last 5
Yeah.
minutes then upward. Because she didn't answer none of my questions. I'm
I
just like,
mean, well, Zumba is dance fitness basically. So it's different types of dances come together and you add a fitness twist to it. So you get a nice cardio dance fitness class.
Because I was up in time I was hearing Zumba everywhere.
Yeah,
And I
it
really
was,
hear-
I would say, in my time, so I did it for around about 10 years and I stopped last year. Yeah, I stopped last year to finish off some career goals and school and whatnot. And it was supposed to be a hiatus for me to finish my MBA, and it ended up being my retirement. I'm not sure if it's going to remain my retirement, but
you did the MBA in like cybersecurity, the management aspect, or like,
no, I did business management. Yeah.
So where the cybersecurities come in then? Like, when that was, you did IT to do it, or?
Oh, okay, so well, first let's finish the Zumba stuff,
Yeah,
and then I'll
Yeah,
segue
segment.
into
Yeah.
into that because I mean I've worn many hats simultaneously in my career lifetime, and I did it all at the same time, which are also like living two completely different lives.
Oh,
So yeah, so on the
Not the dual lifestyle.
on the Zumba side, so I started dancing when I was like 17 years old, and I wanted to get fit, and I just thought that Zumba fitness, it had come somebody by the name of Kelly. She started doing Zumba in a studio in Cuba, and she also started training people to teach it locally as well. And I was like, you know what, let me just do this. I had no expectations for it at all. And Zumba had just taken off in Trinidad, and all the gyms were adding it to their schedule. People were doing classes in schools, and like it's just taken off. So yeah, you were right. There was a point in time when all events, whether it be like 5K events or anything, would ask for like a little Zumba session because it was fun. It was fun fitness.
Yeah.
And that's why I did it, because I was not interested in being a fitness junkie at all. I just wanted to do something to get fit. So I did the license to teach it with no expectations whatsoever on what would happen. And I ended up being extremely successful in doing it. I've done most of the major events locally. I had a brand, a clothing line, a website. I had a movement, I would say.
What year
coming
was
out
this?
Of it. This was in 2010, 12.
Oh, we
2012.
was that hard in like college at this point. We didn't know what was going on outside of the campus at this point.
I was like 20 or 21 when I started it, or 22.
So you was moving and shaking at that time. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Talking
But
about
I
that.
started working when I was 19. So back into like the corporate side of things, I started working very, very young, and I started as a intern-ish at a local company that represented a global brand. And that's how I ended up getting into ICT. And then from just getting the experience from working in that company, I ended up being hired by another global brand. And then I'm with another. So I've been working with 3 global, like multi-international, like large tech companies globally. And I've now acquired maybe 15 years plus of experience in the industry. So I didn't study cybersecurity, but I'm not a technical engineer.
Oh.
I do business development.
Oh.
So but I've been in the industry for 15 years plus, and I've been dancing for 15 years plus, and I've been teaching Zumba for 10 years plus.
So does the Zumba translate to like salsa or other? I don't know.
In Zumba you do reggaeton, salsa, merengue, soca, dancehall,
I told you you didn't know to speak
Afrobeats.
Spanish. You didn't know to speak Spanish. You won already. You won.
Yeah. So you do all genres of music in a Zumba class.
Bazi, you wanna go to Zumba class? Not with me. Pause. Not with me.
I don't think it would be a fit for me. Is that people like me in the Zumba class now?
Yeah.
Come now, man.
I'm telling you.
He doesn't
You
need to
would
get
be
fit.
so surprised, and I'm hoping that some of them see this and they will comment and say, yeah, they will want to go. Because I've met many fellas just like you will walk into the class and be like, you know what, this is not for me, and I don't do that. Like, bad man don't dance. You know, like they just
Bad man don't dance, but they call
you
bad
know,
man.
they that's not for them, right?
Yeah.
And we'll start the class and you just see them like moving, and
Oh,
then
let
they'll
me see
kind
the
of
move.
come
Does he
in.
move? Does
They'll
he
come
move?
in, you know, with the shoulders. They'll come in, and then they ended up staying like fully staying in the class.
But did they come like with their girlfriend, or they came as like, oh, I want to learn Zumba? Or what was how they end up being pulled in? What was the trick? Because that's why I joined Catholicism at one time. It was like
So I would
was a
say
ruse.
the majority of the time, and this is how it looked to me the majority of the time. They
Good
just saw
answer.
me walk in the gym and they were like, I don't know who this person is. I'm going to see. And then they walk into class and they realize, oh, wait, she's an instructor. And then they'll be like, you an instructor? What you just do? And then they end up sticking around and trying the class, yeah.
you just now. Why she's speaking, Bazi? We all the toilets, but it's how she enunciates it. I like how she's do the L, like when she say.
I mean, after all, she is a radio host.
No, she's like L.
Hostess.
She's like a roll the L. I don't know.
Really, I never.
Really? She's like.
Were you given any kind of speech training?
Yeah, so to do radio, I did a radio broadcasting, TV broadcasting course with Star Broadcasting, and that was where I learned. As a part of the course, you would have to learn speech. Okay, I see what you said. I see what you said. Yeah. I see what you said. Yeah, you would have to learn how to enunciate better.
So prior to this, because I'm gonna try to push you off the balance now.
Okay.
Prior to this, did you say honey at the end of
God, come on.
Adi? And like, did you have the accent, like the South accent?
No, I don't think I ever did.
You spoke like proper. Okay, like what secondary school you went? Holy Faith.
No. No, I went to Cunupia High School.
And didn't have the central accent. Didn't.
No, well,
Ah.
I also went to Upper Level Educational Institute as well. That's in Chaguanas.
Yeah, no, but
Let me see how to explain this. So, I did speak differently in high school because that was how my peers spoke, right? So I adjusted to that. But what I would say is my family at home, they always spoke well, right? And even when I came home with that difference in speech from the family and whatnot, it wasn't like they disciplined me to speak well, but they would encourage me to address it, to not by saying, yeah, you need to fix how you talk, but they would encourage me to improve, I would say. Yeah. And it wasn't done in a you need to improve kind of ways. It just spoke to me a certain way, and I knew for me to get my message and across to them, I needed to speak clearly.
See how
The value of parents.
with her, no, with like how she puts together the words. You know, I blah 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 blah. I talk quick, like on my brain. Like you could tell, it have a pause moment, and then she's literally stop, and she thinks of what she says, and I'm like,
She's elegant.
Actually,
what is eloquent?
Eloquent and
Yes,
elegant. A level
yes,
of
yes.
Thank you.
a level of grace, if you will.
Is your real compliment to give you?
Hey,
Yeah,
no.
boy.
Apparently, as we was be kicking down these guests. Somebody tell me that.
So was it?
No, so they kick
But
down.
it might be the turnaround.
No.
It might be the
No,
turnaround.
yeah, that's now. I was told to treat this one. This is the make or break moment for the career buzz.
Really?
No, okay, because I know exactly what you're saying. I went. I used to go private schools. I
Right.
want to tell you why I stopped going private schools for primary school, and then I had to go to a government school, and then I came home with that accent, and my parents was like, "What happened to you?" You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I went to government school, and I'm going to call the name for secondary school. And remember that first week you see me, everybody was just like, why do you dress like that? I had weird sandals and tight jeans before tight jeans was fashionable. It wasn't nice. You didn't go them, but bro, I come to this school with like a ying pants and a sandals. I was dressing like I was just tuna puna in the school I went. So I basically grew up pretty Indian.
Right.
Although I hair texture thing, I grew up pretty Indian.
Right.
So like everything, my standard of beauty and these kind of things was always an Indian girl, however, because that's what I thought was the norm. Grew up in an Indian area thing.
Yeah.
Remember, mixed race. So and then my babysitter was Indian. So up until then I went the culture shock and I was going QRC, which was
Yeah, that would be
you went there
completely
and see
different. I would say the culture shock for me would have been when I started working. Yeah, when I started working, because of the organizations that I worked for, I would have seen a vast difference between what I was exposed to when I went to school and then entering the adult sphere. But for me, I think when it comes to my speech, I always thought that, me personally, and this is nobody telling me that, I always thought that in order for me to articulate myself well, for someone else to understand what messaging I'm trying to get across to them, it has to be done a certain way. And that is most times in a very proper, in a very clear way. And I'm big on clarity. I don't like to not be clear with whatever messaging I'm trying to get across. So that's why you would hear me pause and say what I'm going to say.
She just echoed the sentiments and Nina Simone. She don't want to be misunderstood. You understand?
Yeah.
You know Nina.
Of course you know Nina.
You don't be playing Trinity bad on that stage. Please, you're playing techno and stuff.
So yeah, all right. So I mean, talking about the challenges as a female in this entertainment industry, it's not necessarily a red pill podcast, but we always tend to
Poo.
Yeah, hey, that's a real good analogy. This is a
purple pill.
Yeah. Always we want to ask ladies, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't really have a version. I'm not a lady.
Right.
So we got to be fair to the woman, right?
Yeah.
Do you see the patriarchy as a challenge in your personal and your career life?
You mean if I feel like if I am,
being oppressed.
yeah, I have less opportunity as a woman in the spaces that I'm in? That's a real loaded question because I'm in fitness, ICT, and media, which is all male dominated.
ICT and media.
No, but but what I'm trying to say is I'm in all
Male dominated.
male dominated environments.
Zumba is male dominated.
Zumba is not male dominated, but fitness in general, the fitness industry.
I mean, you have a point, yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Well, I
And
think-
even though you're in Zumba, you're still in fitness. You're still in the same gym. All the trainers training at, all the classes happening at, and there are lots of, that might be a little bit controversial. People might say, no, it's not male dominated. But
Comments
to be
below.
honest, I personally think that it is, right? Because I had a male partner, right, when I was teaching fitness, when I was teaching Zumba, and 100% of the time, I will walk into the room and the people in the class would feel nervous that I walked into the room, and he would walk into the room and they automatically feel comfortable. So his success rate in teaching a class was way higher from the very
Was this a
get-go.
predominantly female class?
It was a predominantly female class, yes.
So you might be one of these intimidating females.
I guess maybe I am. I don't think that I am, but maybe I was. You all could tell me.
Maybe, Anna. I think I'll be...
You're running, dog.
Cream and crap.
Ready.
Sensational. Oh, that's the birds. Where's the splash? I'm looking for the splash. It's not there. Okay. Could it be that you are in fact a wet girl? Like you're
I
hot?
don't know.
You don't... You nearly make
I take care of myself.
Oh, so you don't think you're a cutie pie? You don't think that you... Like your looks, it might
No,
be...
I look nice. I'm a nice
You don't
girl.
right? You don't think that it could be kind of... What's the word I'm looking for?
The intimidation?
Yeah, right. You could be intimidated.
You mean I look pompous?
Right, I didn't say that. I said because you are this way, you care about your way. You have your hair slick.
Yeah.
You have your hairline still nice shape.
Yeah.
Thing. Have a decent height, and you come in smooth skin. I have to put that back in.
Right.
And then you come in, and I
Oh, you had to put up for me.
no smooth skin. Anyway,
Okay.
it's like a caramel. It's a caramel. Anyway.
Oh.
And you literally come into a space now, and then there's girls who trying to get fit for carnival. They put on a little bit extra
Right.
size. You already in shape.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, class. And then they come, okay, say okay, class. You are you guys getting ready to blah, blah, blah. And then it's
Right.
like, who's this bitch?
I mean, I don't know, like they would have to say, because as the person being the person actually walking into the class, I'm oblivious to what they think as soon as I walk into the class. But
And
I can
then-
tell you the response that I used to get typically was everybody would like sit back and be like,
Better.
And then when
better.
David Hasselhoff walks in,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
But I want to ask a question.
yeah.
This is almost a deep dive, right?
Right, okay, cool.
Women is be generally friendly to you? Like women in general. Are they
Yeah.
friendly? Yeah?
you're splash.
Yeah, we had a splash.
Define it.
Yeah. Women are generally friendly to me, but I would say that is a skewed opinion to have for me right now, because I've been in the public sphere for so long. So most times they know me from being public, right? If you take that aside, you take my reputation aside, you take all of that aside, I don't know. I feel like they may or may not. I don't know. But most times when I speak to women now, it's because they would have seen me speak at a webinar for something, because I did like women empowerment and stuff like that during the pandemic and whatnot. They would have seen that, or they would have seen me on social media. I used to do a lot of motivational videos when I was doing Zumba as well. They would see those things. So my reputation is one where they know me to be that type of career-driven person and speaking about empowerment and motivation and whatnot. But typically, they still are very shy, right? So I'll walk into the class and they'll be very shy to speak to me. Whereas my partner would have walked into the class and it's like, yeah, we're ready to go, and where I would have had to now try to connect to them first before
As you said, you're straight.
yeah.
So there's just like, okay, it's like Kim K. A lot of women, I'm not saying that you get fame off of the same way Kim K get fame, but like she's intimidating because when she walks into a sphere, she's well known,
Right.
got influence and all these things, and it's like,
How
It's,
does
it's
she
like
do
it's
it?
like it's like Oprah. How does she? I mean, I want to have a waistline like her. How she get her hair to look like? Meanwhile, your hair could be looking raggedy, dad.
Yeah.
And they just coming up with I like how it frizzes. And meanwhile, it's because you ain't wash your hair for the day or whatever. You're sweaty.
So this is a testament to self-development.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying, like even on your bad day,
Yeah.
somebody could
Well,
flat out.
as you say that, right? There's a point that I want to bring across with regards to what you're saying as well, right? I feel like that preconceived notion of who I am when before I walk, or anybody in general before you walk into, I think it happens all of the time, and I feel like what people should really be realizing is that most of the time, if not 100% of the time, people are that person that you're looking at. Is they going through their own thing? Because I was teaching classes, right?
Projection. People are just projecting. Okay.
No, but I wouldn't lie to you. I was teaching those classes, still struggling with my weight, still struggling with my body. I wasn't happy with the way that I looked. I was still, just like they were working on themselves in the gym, I was there to work on myself too. So I'm walking into this class and I'm confused as to why they are receiving me the way that they are when I'm feeling like I'm just like them. Right? I'm here to work on myself too.
Okay, I just want to make it clear. You see why I like Indian girls for? Because it's just like, it's always a level of, I don't know, not insecurity, but cute. It's like a meekness. It's like, you see what I'm talking about? But I've been saying this forever. Give it as MIGA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was struggling. I struggle with my body at times too, and I still think I have a lot to work on in myself, and just like I'm on that constant journey, I don't feel like I reach. And they may have thought that maybe I reach because I teach, and maybe that's what was in their mind, but I didn't know, and I didn't see what they saw, because I'm coming into class feeling the same levels of insecurity, feeling like I need to lose 10 pounds, feeling like I need to do this, the same thing they were feeling, I was feeling.
Oh, okay. Because it's interesting enough. You are on we're on a show, because on a show is we watch TV. I stopped watching TV since Netflix. I kind of just cut down on TV.
Yeah.
No. It was a time when young boys, when they're young, Wikipedia was now coming in. You're watching Nickelodeon.
Right.
And then you see like the hot actress, the hot teen actress.
Yeah.
And then one day I was a certain age. I was like, hey, she's pretty. Google it. How old she is? Too young. I stopped watching TV from that. I was like, no. Too young for me.
Yeah.
But I think it was iconic. This is when Ariana Grande was still, before Ariana Grande was, I think it was Ariana Grande. But I was saying all of this to say that you are on the show with these other girls, the three of them.
The
Overview. Yeah.
Overview.
Yeah.
Right. And is shown as, the
Yeah.
perception is,
Yeah.
I said, a West girl.
Yeah.
Well, I think she away.
I said, a West girl.
I'm aware, yes.
Yeah, so you're the West Indian, it's the West Red girl, the West Darky, and the West Reds, I guess, the West White girl.
Right.
And so it's just like, this is a Bella thing. I'll never be, obviously they cannot be intimidated, because although you are from Couva, Central girl.
I'm not from Couva, but I'm Central, and
Get
not from the West, yeah.
The perception is West girl.
Yeah, it is, and which was very confusing to me, I felt I never saw myself that way, and I still don't see myself that way, right? So being told you are by
Somebody doesn't.
the social,
So take us through the backlash,
the
because
cyber people being told that you are, and you are this, and you're lying.
Wow.
That was interesting. That was an interesting experience for sure.
that you're lying about your origination.
Yeah.
No, because I sat down, I don't know these girls, but then somebody threw the clip, because I was a guy researching Big Up UQB. It's like, yeah, look, these West girls having a girl talk, and there's like, nobody cares about all the West thing. Them not poor. Them not.
But I'm not from that background at all. As a matter of fact, like I started off I was earning less than $4,000 when I started working. Less than.
See, Pepper.
Like I was no, it wasn't. But I was at the time, and I worked my way up. So for me, I felt like, and I don't want to really like get into it, because I feel like it's such a sensitive topic. But I feel like the judgment that was passed on the girls on the show was a bit
was a bit toxic.
Yeah, it was a bit much. It was a bit harsh, and I would have liked the opportunity to connect to the audience from my background, but
So
that's what
I don't feel like it was presented.
That's
So
what
this
you
is
hear.
your opportunity
That's what you hear.
Yeah,
for us to let's address this, because I think we need to unpack that one on that's the elephant in Trinidad and Tobago's room.
Yeah.
All right, where there's a class divide,
Yeah.
and we tend to not deal with the conversation the adult way. We try to use a lot of
Is them.
debris in the conversation in order to have a kind of say, but the programming, apparently the sentiment by the so-called people was that the programming was out of touch, apparently.
And it
Yeah.
was for the bourgeois. The
Right.
what the 5% to the
Like the
1%.
whoever person that
Yeah.
is, say is in charge of the country.
But let's okay. So I want to stop there for a second, right? Because I feel like that's the center of what everybody speaks about when they speak about the show, right?
Right.
But if you actually listen to the points that were made and the things that were said on the show, there was much deeper content. Like, forget what you're seeing for a second and just listen to what was.
3 wet girls.
No,
Forward
but that's what I'm
news.
saying. Like, forget what you're seeing. Forget what you're seeing for a second and actually listen to what was being said. There were some gems dropped on that show that people would look past because of what you're seeing. But if you stop for a second and let's remove the judgment and let's remove the perception of whatever colorism, classism, whatever you want to think about there. If you just remove that for a second and listen to what was being said, there was some real gems that came out of that from women that went through things. It's not like everybody goes through things. Even the people that you think privileged, they go through things, right? Does that mean then that their journey is irrelevant because of their background?
Well, when they had to get water 7 days a week, and I only get water 3 days. Yeah, that's why me as a proletariat. I talk it out.
But how does that? So how does that then make what's being said irrelevant? How does that make it? How does that?
You want to go?
Yeah.
Because this country is full of people with an IQ of 85.27, and that's an average.
Right.
It's not full of the smartest bunch. So what you have to do now, what people like down here is what? Like,
It's actually called cognitive dissonance.
and the fact that they don't want intelligent discourse,
Yeah.
which is why our politics so like it is the way it is. Where it's
Yeah.
like, well, this person do this, well, this person do this. Oh, and I'm going to vote for them because they thief money and they thief money and they
I
thief
don't
money.
want you to take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right? Because I always try to be objective about a scenario. Okay? And correct me if I'm wrong, because there's a conversation.
We
Yeah.
talking.
Pretty privilege. Do you
Yeah.
believe that it exists? That is a thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you think you have gotten pretty?
Let me land the plane. Let me land the plane. We now examining the thought of the Trinidadian, the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
All right. So on average, when the bunch, not so intellectually sung to take what is being said rather than look at the messenger, right? Because it's a kind of childish sentiment that we not fully developed an intellectual thought just yet. This is just from an objective standpoint. What we experiencing on the show is the same cognitive dissonance where there's like, well, we don't like the brand, which is why we had to thank you for coming.
Right.
Because people will be like, well, I don't like the name. When they don't have give it a second thought to even
Yeah.
know what the show is even about.
Yeah.
You know?
So I would have to do wild shit for the clips to be like, oh, look, he tell
Yeah, they call it
and it's this,
controversial.
they're going to skip over all of this.
Yeah,
what we
because
talking now.
we are we're so attracted to comedy. We are attracted to comedy and wildness that we don't have these serious conversations. But everybody's having these serious conversations behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody is having the conversations openly, you know. So everybody gravitates towards the more comedic side of social media or whatever you guys will post, and that's just how it is. That's the reality of it. And the deeper conversations never really would get that unless, again, from where I started, when it comes to like self-awareness and self-development, and all of if you are on that train of self-awareness and self-development, those are people that would say, you know what, I want to listen to where this conversation go, and they would look at it. But if you are not working on self, then you pretty much you're not in control of the reins.
You keep mentioning is the aspect of you keep mentioning that like self and self development, is it more from Eastern philosophy or Eastern religious background? Oh, like you understand what I'm saying? Like I think you're thinking about the and like you're trying to go to the higher set of consciousness. Nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that.
It's
This is
just
a red-blooded capitalist woman you're watching.
Nothing. It has nothing. It has
and I'm asking that for obvious.
No, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. I feel like even so in my, I would say, teens, school days, I was not the person they're seeing in front of you, right? So I was like the chubby girl in class.
We want receipts. Let's see the chubby. Let's see the chubby chaser.
Right? I wasn't like the social butterfly of the class. I was not weird. But I wasn't the social butterfly, and I had a lot of self-insecurity. I had a lot of insecurities in myself because of my weight and all, and that's not necessarily why I started doing fitness. But yes, I wanted to look better. But I had a lot of insecurities. I didn't like myself at all. Like there was a point in time in my life in my early teens when I used to write about how much I hated myself. I literally used to write it down in a book and put it in a box how much I did not like myself, and that, when I started dancing, I found my personality when I started dancing, right? And that's where Bella was brought to life at that point. But in doing that, I guess going through that journey, it made me see that most of the time, and people in general, and now I see the world differently. I think people most of the time, they see the world through the lens of their own insecurities. And I was seeing the world through my insecurities. And I was, self-sabotaging myself from opportunities because I felt insecure in myself because of that. And then I was never a public speaking person. One of my biggest fears was reading in public. The book used to shake in my hand, and I'm like trying to speak and I'm stuttering. And I'm in media now, right?
Yeah.
So, but having to overcome that made me realize how much I saw the world from that lens of my insecurities, of myself. And then in having to now challenge myself to do that, which actually happened from teaching Zumba classes, I had to speak better. I had to learn how to interact with people better. I had to understand how to emotionally connect with people because I wanted them to come back to class. And learning all of those things, it made me see how much everybody else is operating from that lens as well. So it made me incredibly self-aware of everything that I'm doing. So anything that I'm doing now, I actually think, is this coming from my insecurities or is this coming from the reality of what is in front of me? If that makes sense, like I feel like I'm trying to make it make sense to you all, but
I absolutely, I understand what you're saying. You go ahead.
So even though how much years into this?
Yeah.
Like you say 2015. 15, it was 15 years?
15 plus, yeah.
15 plus years, like into this.
Yeah.
Is there a point where it's like past the mirror and then you still see that chubby girl in school?
I don't like to look at myself in the mirror.
Okay.
Classic.
A classic.
That's a classic one. That's a classic one.
Yeah.
You don't know how, like, it's not just a you thing. I don't know if it's a cultural thing.
Maybe it is.
But
No, I look at myself in the mirror all the time, But when I look at myself in the mirror, the first thing that I see is what's wrong.
that's why I'm asking what
I see my flaws, and I have to like consciously tell myself and remind myself of the work that I've put in and try to celebrate that. But that's a conscious thing that I have to do all of the time. And then in doing that, you'd realize that people that don't do that, they get disgruntled, unhappy, you make poor decisions in life, and it's just because you are not
grateful,
addressing yourself. You're not addressing the things that you're dealing with. Like, why am I making this decision? Why am I going to do this job or whatever? Is it because I have something to prove, or is it because it's something that I like to do, or is it something that is actually going to be successful for me? So
smart goals. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's not from a place of higher self. I mean, obviously, no hate to anybody that's on that journey from a religious or spiritual side of things, but that's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place of trauma and hurt and having to like deal with myself and still go. I remember I went through a very bad tobacco once, and the day it happened.
I wanted to hold on.
We're looking for.
Alright, so anytime I start talking to banker stories, alright,
Wait,
so one for that too.
This one time
Ah.
at band camp.
This one time at band camp.
Let's go.
No, but I was just gonna say, that I was going through it one time, and I still had to show up and teach my classes, and my job was to make them feel good.
Alright, Bella.
Yes.
Alright. So we just want to know that, 'cause this is receipt. All right.
Right,
The
okay.
receipt segment.
I feel like I got your full attention there, boy.
Yeah.
You didn't get you had my full attention. Jump, mom. Let's just put
Yeah,
it.
okay, cool.
Usually women doesn't be too forthcoming with their tobacco stories now. So
No, why? Because we are afraid to say that we get rejected.
yeah, so we need the receipts because at the end of the day, it's
I
sometimes
think at one point in time, Bazi, me and she go online outside of the sphere of this
Let
show.
me tell you
and
something,
we go
right?
and show.
I know you're going to say something, but I'm going to say something for everybody here,
Sure.
right? Everybody that's listening on, right? Shame only has power when you hide it. If you own something that you are ashamed about and you actually talk about it and say it and own that, you take away its power. So I'm not afraid to say that I've been rejected in life. I can't. Why would I?
So you
Why
see?
should I?
Take Bella advice, all of the big girl lovers who's be loving up girls and a fetish. Just come out and own it,
Love these fatties.
Yeah, love it.
Love them.
We have a story.
That's not where I was going with that, but all right,
I'm
cool.
a
If that's
virgin.
where you're rolling, all right,
No,
cool.
we have a virgin. He swear to God.
He swear by he doesn't hear you will die
He
on.
died on that. But just come out and say it already,
Just say it, regardless of other people's opinions. That's their business. Other people's opinion is their business. It's not your business.
Okay, but specifically with you, because he mentioned you're pretty privileged.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
all right.
Because now you're pretty. You're not that girl anymore.
And she
that
was
you
on a
used to be.
panel of other ladies who
That
you
were
could
pretty.
distinguish as
Are beautiful, objectively.
Okay.
objectively pretty women.
Is it that it's easier than the girl who is not as aesthetic as you to jump out herself? In terms of, because, okay, perfect example. I'm a quite that, but it's a quite upfront person about, hey boy, you see, I say, hey, I really like Indian girls, I find you real hot, and I just throw that out there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what's happened in usual settings? With me specifically is like, yeah, you like shift him, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Oh, okay. So,
If you like,
Because
if
I
you're
haven't-
trying to say you think it's easier for me to get through,
I think it's easier, or you are way more palatable than our next person. For me, personally. Like, you could come and say, I'm going to put a car bomb underneath your vehicle and press the button and you're going to die. And then somebody will be like,
not the
that's
car bomb, dog.
Huh?
Car bomb.
No, like a femme
I'm sorry,
you understand?
yeah.
I think you could give somebody bad news. You could go in the hospital and be like, you have 2 days to live.
Yeah.
But
So she has a face for everything, corporate face.
it's not corporate. That's not corporate face. It's not about. It's not about beauty. It's not specifically beauty you're talking about. It's a kind of
Amenable.
amiable.
Amiable.
Yeah.
Amiable.
You can try saying.
Yeah.
I catch what you're saying.
This is the most complimenting episode that I've.
No, that's not.
Apparently.
So
Apparently.
nobody can say he's massaging. It's just. I have massaged anybody now. So
I again I would say it's difficult for me to answer the question when I'm going through it. Like, I don't know what the next person is going through. I can't say. I've not been in their shoes to say I know, so like I don't know.
Okay,
I
so-
don't know the answer to that.
So where-
Is it easier for me? Like, let people say, is it easier for
Okay,
me? I feel like everybody goes, yeah,
Where-
what's she talking about? But but is it? I don't know. Because I don't want to say yes or no to that question, having not gone through every side of it.
The
Of that.
introspection.
Yeah.
Well, where I was going with the pretty privilege, right?
Yeah.
Is that in corporate Trinidad and Tobago, it's still male dominated.
Mm-hmm.
To such a sense that I have a girls to pick. Not with, of course, not with the beautiful ladies.
Yeah.
It's the Sims and them, you know? the fellas on. Let me line up the Simpsons, some of those. Right? You see, the issue is, right? If I'm incorporated, I'm not going to put a product out there that I'll set up to fail. Right? For me, and this is just my opinion and my little 2 cents on the whole story, because it's like a beautiful message that women from a different class will be able to have a little bit more empathetic view on society and have a better, well, maybe not better, but have their own vantage point be heard.
Yeah.
You know? And the way in which it was presented, it came across as...
Condescending?
Not condescending. Condescending was the word. It's more, we know your intention is a good intention. We know the ladies at the table intention is a good intention, but Trinidadians don't trust corporate interests for some strange reason.
Unless it's alcohol.
Unless it's rum.
Unless
Or
it's
something
rum.
sexual.
Unless it's
You
rum or
understand?
sex. Yeah.
Okay.
So, coming into that scenario where you ladies have to now say, hey, this is value, or they could look away from the face and the body and whatever, but listen to the value. I think that's a setup, because people, Trinidadians, they're gonna look first and they're gonna judge.
It's a TV. I mean, it is TV.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think that's a Trinidadian thing, though. I think it's a people
everywhere.
thing.
Yeah,
it's a people thing.
human thing.
It's a human thing. I think everybody does that. But what I'm saying is, not because everybody does it means that you can't say for yourself that you're gonna challenge that belief and actually, again, I'm going back to look into yourself and actually challenge what is in front of you versus going by popular demand or popular belief.
Yeah, but that's a hard oxygen.
So, obviously, enlightened one. What's the end goal?
What's the end goal and what?
Like your journey, as they
My
say.
journey?
Yeah, what's the end? You're gonna be like queen of Hotistan, or what's it?
Queen of what?
Hotistan. Like, what's the end goal? Like, you're gonna be the top female DJ, or you're just gonna be reach the point where it's not a DJ, it's not female DJ, it's just known as the hot DJ.
Well,
then you're just the best DJ, and the female
I'm an
gets dropped.
announcer, but not really. I'm an announcer, not DJ, but
Yeah.
but I guess what you're saying.
Like, you're trying to be difficult.
No, I just don't want to, DJ Ari works with me on air, so I don't want to take away her shine as well. I
announce
announce.
DJ Ari.
But yeah, DJ Ari. DJ Ari.
We'll get on the show next time. Better be good.
My end, honestly, when I started working, I started working because I wanted to buy a car so that I could live my life, right?
Call car.
You
Is it
grew up
a
with-
Ford Focus?
My first car was a red Cube.
A what?
A red Cube.
Come now, man.
Okay, to show
Yeah,
off.
boy.
Press the button.
A Cube. I drive a Cube, boy.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Hey, listen. That was the most convenient car I've ever had. As in, it fits anywhere. It was like, it could go up one little high, little.
You're talking about the people in the car, or you're talking about...
No,
Oh,
it
okay.
just the car.
I
The
know.
car, yeah, it was a little spacious on the inside too. But yeah, the car was, the car was, it
It was
felt-
a sensational.
It was sensational. The car, it fit its purpose,
I see.
But but that's why I started working. I started working because I wanted to buy my own car so
Right.
that I didn't have to ask my parents to go out anymore, and I could just jump in my car and
Yeah,
roll.
big woman now.
Right? Yeah. And upon working, I realized what adulting was and wanting to have a place to live and build a life with somebody. And
And you moved out after?
I did not move out.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't move out, but it was on the table, and it just didn't happen. But that's a story for next day. And that's a story you want to hear now. But
Oh gosh. Baby, please.
But
tell me
the
everything.
end goal, to answer your question, the end goal, I just always, and as I get older and the more things that I do, I appreciate the simpler things more. The more I do, the more I appreciate simplicity, right? And I've never been one to want to live uncomfortably. So I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't necessarily want to be the queen of hottest. What's her name?
Hottestan.
Hottestan, right? I don't want to be the queen of Hottestan. But I'll say this: if
There's a but.
yes, if
Caveat.
I need to be the queen of Hottestan to be able to live comfortably and have peace of mind, then I'll be the queen of Hottestan.
Here's the beauty about that, right? Hottestan is right next to a country called Bumfuckistan. And I happen to be the emperor of Bumfuckistan.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, we could make good international ties, etc. and
Create an empire.
create a... Well, I mean... I wasn't
I mean,
saying
not just
that.
facilitating
I thought
others.
it was just a treaty kind of thing, but create empire, sure. I already have.
Hi.
Yeah. So my end goal is
Charisma
really
buckets.
peace and living comfortably and being able to live life. Not live life, but live life, right? And if I have to do certain things and I have to be successful or I have to get to a certain goal in order to achieve that, then I'll do that. But the end goal is not to have a title or a name or any of those things. It happened as a byproduct of the things that I was doing, right? But that was not the end goal. Like, I didn't think that I would have had a brand from starting to teach Zumba. But in order for me to have a successful business, I had to build a brand,
Of course.
right? So it was a byproduct of me just trying to live life.
You just wanted that Cuban to move out.
She had that,
She just
that-
wanted two things in life.
I think the majority of women these days just talk about fulfillment.
It's just
More-
like that.
More so than things. So it's about how living that, as you say, live life, that fulfillment. you know.
Fulfillment,
Yeah.
peace,
Peace of mind.
yeah,
comfort.
peace of mind, comfort.
You want a raggedy ass man coming and stressing out your head.
Hey.
Yeah?
A CPAP worker will do you just fine. Trust me.
See, but man.
Not a CPAP man, specific one CPAP. One specific. One that wears ties to work when he's
Right.
cutting lawn.
Cutting lumber with ties on is a egregious work,
No,
buddy.
not really. I tell you, I'm back hurting, but still good go.
And Nick with us, you
I have
call
a
that.
whole day I work tomorrow. Boy.
Good.
Highway looking clean.
So in terms
But
of
don't
all
get
the,
me wrong. I like being successful. I like doing impactful things. I like reaching to higher levels of what I'm doing. I like doing it, but I'm not doing it because I made that my identity.
so how would you then say is deal with burnout? Because I mean, having to wear so much hats,
Yeah.
the burnout does get real after a while.
Yeah.
But here's
For
what the re-
years, let me tell you something. For years of my life, I lived running hard until my body says no. Then I'll shut down for like a couple weeks and then I'll go again. And it
Jeez.
was like that for right up until the pandemic. I think the pandemic was the first time in my life that I stopped. Like, I had to stop. Right. And even then I didn't stop because I started teaching online classes and I still started to do a bunch of things during the pandemic. Right. But that was the first time that I stopped and I realized how much mental issues I had to deal with, right?
Crazy girl. Toxic kings, come on.
Right? Having to deal with anxiety and maybe levels of depression and then I realized how burnt out I was and I was just operating in burnout and not even knowing that I was burnt out. It was just like on a hamster wheel, just going and going. And now my body is not just not capable of doing that anymore. So when I get burnt out now, I try to read or whatever I feel like doing in that moment. I stop whatever I'm doing and I do that, right? So I don't have a remedy, one remedy for burnout. It could be sleeping on my bed. It could be reading a book. It could be listening to music. It could be going to dance. It could be going on a vacation. Whatever it is that is not a norm of my routine is what I will do, right? Because typically when you want to combat burnout, you do something different. That's what really kind of gets your motivation going again and gets you kind of going. You do something that's out of your routine. So I'll do something that's not in my routine and something most times that don't require a lot of physical exertion.
Well, I mean, burnout.
So,
I don't know where you're going with that, but
no, I didn't go anywhere until now.
it's your face alone.
I didn't say anything, so I mean,
Phoebe, did I see, you was watching the cameras. I didn't do anything.
yeah.
The wrist has worked.
Well, maybe you should go there.
How the Grinch stole Christmas, guys.
His face was.
When you said no harm physical activity.
No, that's not what happened. What happened was
That's what
intently.
That's what happened.
That's what he wanted.
No, That is what happened.
Okay.
Suggestion.
That is what happened.
Ince-
Anyway,
okay, you know, the best part about the movie Inception, remember, is just to make somebody think it's their idea. So,
right.
yeah,
That's
I
it.
wanted to tell them. It was me.
Inept. I try to use big words today that way.
No, we had to impress the vocabulary. We would
So you're a grammar lama too?
I don't think I am at all.
Well, you are not named Trey, right?
Yeah.
Typically, they don't play Trinidad. Typically.
No, they don't. Yeah.
But you just be out, you just be listening to this music. Like, is this a genre that you'll be like, yeah, you rock with this, you rock with Trinidad, you rock with.
Very few songs actually. No, I really am an Afrobeats person. I love Afrobeats.
I'm a piano by chance.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
I see. Cool. That's an inside joke.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
No worries, no
All
worries.
right. Cool. Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
love. That's my
good
favorite
segue, boy,
genre.
don't boy.
Yeah.
So you want to get into carnival,
Right. Cool.
Holy crap, our pass. Here's it.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Before we go to that.
So, week before was Hot Doctor. Week before was Next Hot Radio DJ. Week before, we had a legendary DJ. Week before, we had.
We had
You see, we getting number. You see, who we guess we getting
an influencer.
influencers, people who are influential.
Yeah.
The guys get better, actually.
So, we guess getting better week after week. So, what we require from our audience?
I mean, it pains us to ask this.
Yeah,
really
you have to watch
is.
your camera.
Well, our camera.
Oh, okay. You watch your camera trick. I watch mine. Anyway,
I go watch
watch one. Camera one and camera two. Anyway,
whatever.
www.patreon.com
Yeah, the Patreon, we need a little assistance though.
/he_whore_. Because if it's just he_whores, that's called misogyny. And it's wrong.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to underscore any horse in this world.
We don't underscore whores. We score them.
Quite highly.
Right.
We do the Lord's work after all.
We do
you
the
know?
Lord's work. I am
Yeah.
Batman. Yes.
Oh, so carnival.
Right.
You are intertwined with the carnival culture. You're Trinidadian.
Yeah.
You have been in many, well, you wore many hats in the carnival sense too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. Which hats we don't
But
want.
you go down.
Okay.
Exploit.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So this year was my first time taking on a personal media project. So my colleague and I, Cambojo, we did a show called Culture Shock with Cambojo and with Bella and Cambojo. And what we did was, and the purpose behind Culture Shock is really to kind of bring light to the events that the younger generation not going to, right?
Such.
Carnival Kings and Queens, the March Gras,
That's the
stick
thing?
fighting, yes, buddy.
Buddy.
Face of the body did.
Sana roll
Right?
that neck there, Keisha. Easy.
Yeah, Carnival Kings and Queens. We did that. We did the March Gras. We did Pan. Well, everybody does Pan. I think Pan doesn't need to be highlighted. Like Pan is Pan.
People don't do pan. People is do on the greens. People don't do pan. The pan people is do pan.
Right. Well, this year was because I was doing Culture Shock this year. This was my first year going to Grandstand. I did Grandstand, North Stand, and Greens, and I would go Grandstand again. I want to sit down and look at the pan bands doing their thing in front of me, like. And I went to the finals after, and it was amazing. But that aside, pan is pan. But let's talk about the March Gras and let's talk about Carnival Kings and Queens, for example, with these majestic costumes and characters with stories behind them. You know, I feel like let me tell you something. Carnival happens everywhere around the world. Everywhere. Right? There's a carnival in any country you can think about right now. There's a carnival happening. Party carnival.
Okay.
Where's the next March Gras?
And like it on the March Gras because I went to Kings and Queens in Toronto for Caribana.
It's not the same.
It's still not the same.
I've never went to Kings and Queens here, so I don't know.
It's still not the same. So for me, I just felt like as I get older, I'm appreciating different things. And both Cam and I, we just wanted to, it really started off with us saying, you know, we're going to just go cultural events together. And then I was like, you know what, let's just make it a thing and do it on our stories. And she's like, yeah, let's do that and let's share it on our social media. And then it just turned into a little mini show that we did called Culture Shock with Bella and Cambojo, where we really want to highlight that because it pains me to see the stands not packed for those designers that spending weeks and months and real money building these stories and characters behind what they're doing, and like I grew up watching it on TV, wishing that I was in the stands, and now I would like to see people experience that as well. And I feel like not enough people know.
You
Do they know? I don't know.
I don't think they care.
you know they don't care. It's Trinidad people don't know.
I don't think
Not
it's that they don't care.
You don't want young people like talking about.
I think they don't know enough to care.
That's a good point. That could actually be the thing too.
Yeah, I don't think they know enough to care.
Is like the midnight robber thing a thing still? I remember when that was a big
That's happening around the Cambodia riots.
because have you been to Cambodia riots?
I didn't go to this year.
It's basically the same show every year.
Yeah,
I would
it
say.
is.
Right. So you ever went to Cambodia riots?
Yeah, I've been to one when that's a long
Well,
time.
it's pretty much the same. Pretty much, I would say pretty. Trying to sound like
Pretty?
pretty. Anyway, pretty much the same thing every year. But
Yeah.
then when it go down now, it's like I don't know. It feel like it have a disparaging. I don't know. It have a divide in people think that carnival or certain things for carnival is more of an Afro thing as opposed to
Right.
is our thing.
Trinidadian thing.
Because you say you watch this as a
Yeah.
little girl in wherever,
Yeah.
Central, and you're like, wow, this is beautiful, and you
Beautiful.
and you sound very nationalist,
Yeah.
which is something I
Yeah.
don't think Trinidadians, except for Independence Day. Independence Day and Carnival Monday and Tuesday when they want to drink and wine and
Right.
they coke
We are
out.
everybody. We are one.
We are
at
one.
that point.
Or if we outside of the country where we together, you
Yeah.
sitting down and saying, this is our space. Carnival is our
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You understand? Pan is our thing. It's not
Yeah.
like the Afros do this or the thing is the Trinidadians did this
Yeah.
together. Doubles is our thing.
Yeah.
Palau is our thing.
For the
But I
life.
think that's changing, though. I
Well-
feel like what you're talking about is something that was more prominent years, like
Of our
years ago.
parents' time.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but generations ago. But I feel like at the now stage,
So what
I've seen much more openness with that.
what are your thoughts with the current, I should say,
Yeah.
how carnival is being portrayed now in terms of we see a lot more revealing clothing, revealing costumes even.
Real
Yeah.
Zumba dancers jumping
Everything,
out after you
yeah.
get them fit, you get the body
Yeah.
right and tight.
Yeah,
The outside.
body parts on the outside, and basically that kind of gives a sentiment to what the carnival is really about now.
Sexuality.
Promiscuity.
Yeah, absolute promiscuity. So how in a sense would we bring back that level of
Culture
traditional?
and tradition.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's where we at right now. So that's why I say maybe they don't even care.
They
you know?
don't, but they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
not exposed to it enough to know, like, and maybe that's something that the collective has more than just us sitting by this table. It's a collective effort that comes from the people behind the events, people behind the bands, people behind the planning of it from a public sector standpoint to a private sector standpoint, coming together and saying, you know what, we want to highlight our history.
Great
This is what it is
incentives.
about. Let's highlight that in what we're doing. Somewhere along the lines that messaging changed to, the party vibes that we have now. But maybe that's what should be happening in order to swing it back into that direction.
Incentive.
Interestingly enough, prior to I'm not sure you've played carnival before.
Many times, yeah.
Oh, okay, many times. Okay,
Some boss lady.
okay, veteran.
Yeah.
I've been stopping since '88, baby. Anyway, so before it at a point in time, the big trucks with the music on it.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it was rhythm sections,
Yeah.
and with the rhythm sections, now it was a different vibe entirely. Like, oh yeah, you wasn't with me for Juve. So like for Juve, I was working security for our band.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the band, Paparazzi, right? I was working it for Paparazzi. At one point in time, I'm not sure what happened, but like the music cut off.
Mm-hmm.
And then so in that group it was Spanish, that Indians, blacks, that whatever, all this, well, Trinis and illegal Trinis and Trinis,
Yeah.
all of us together. And then some man with the freaking the
metal,
The Crick span?
drum
bricks,
disc.
yeah, drum disc.
Yeah.
The drum.
Right.
He started
Rotalis.
knock it. So then our next man we talk about like talking about so about 2-3 seconds like a hodgepodge rhythm section start. And the most set of vibes on that entire trip was in that stretch on the side walking by Curiosity, ironically. Where it was just like, to have no music, it was just vibe. And it was like, okay, I could see why this is a thing. Where it's now about the, I guess, the commercialism of Carnival, where how much money we can make, how much money this man is make, etc., etc. It's just about the time, the culture. Where, and if we could have videotaped that, because it was like, hey, it was this, because before Juve was Pagua, it was just modern powder. When it was just dirt and whatever. Now it's just like, oh, let's make it pretty through basically the Pagua powder. And I was like, when it turned to the commercial aspect is when it kind of removed the soul now, or the heart it. Whereas now,
you know, I might argue, I might argue against that, just based on the fact that everybody is used Carnival for some sort of incentive, right? Monetary incentive. And these people who's be practicing the MAGA and the all the other cultural aspects that probably seem to be phased out.
You said semen.
Seemingly phasing out.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's because there's a lack of corporate interest, right? Because there's no incentive for these people to continue to produce this type of artwork at the level that would require, that could attract more people. Because it's getting, imagine the same sentiment you was alluding to. You want to live a life where you could put forward a product into the world and you don't have to depend so heavily on the paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, and these mass men and everybody who involved in that aspect of the culture that's seemingly being phased out, I don't see it being economically profitable for them to even continue to produce at the best or the highest level.
Yeah.
Right? Because then
What's
the point, you know?
Yeah, but you know, what you're talking about is a business issue, right? And are those people exposed to the right systems and tools to build a business out of what they are doing? So I don't think that it's dying, you know. I think that the resources are not there for them to thrive.
I mean, we have
right?
a whole arts and multiculturalism
Ministry, you know? Yeah,
so
but
I think
hope.
But that's what I think is lacking in the middle there, right? The resources and the tools and the training and development for those people to, you know, now learn social media or learn marketing and development or learn sales management, right? That's what is really contributing to the down spiral of that side of things. And the thing is, I happen to know there are tools and resources available, but they don't know enough to know.
you are the source. You are the source.
I'm not the source. I'm just
do you
saying.
have the source? You are the source.
I have the source. I mean, I don't know. And maybe I don't know.
I mean,
I'll give you an
hats.
example. I went to an awards. I think it was an awards kind of graduation thing for JMMB had, where they taught young entrepreneurs business development skills, and they taught them how to, you know, financial things, how to open your bank account, how to manage that, how to manage your financials. You know, I think they did all of that as a part of their program, right? So there are programs and things and always available to people, you know, but I feel like the communication and the messaging always gets so skewed and people are so caught up in living in, oh, this is never going to happen for me. I'm never going to be this. I can't get those resources. I am not, you know, that they don't even pay attention or they don't look for it, right? And you can't attract good things to happen if you don't go looking for it. It's just not going to come. You have to put yourself in a position to attract that or to come across it. And if you're not doing that, then no, you're not going to move from where you are. Right? So you have to go look for it. Those people have to go look for it and hold the people who are there to provide those resources for them, hold them accountable to that. Right? But sitting back and saying, well, this is not going to happen to me. This is never going to happen to me. This is where I come from. This is what I do. You know, and I know I'm going to get hate for this. I know it's easier. It's easier said than done. Exactly. I know it's easier said than done, especially when you're fighting mental battles within yourself. This is this is who I am, this is what I can do, this is not for me. It's extremely difficult to do. But that in itself is where you would find the solutions. You have to go look for it.
The struggle
It's real.
is beautiful.
It's a fight against yourself.
Yeah,
It
basically
is.
fighting yourself.
Most times, you're fighting against your own self to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, you know.
Always.
Your fear of public speaking, your fear of this, your fear of putting yourself out there, your fear of sounding wrong, your fear of rejection, you know, that's what really, like, most of the times are the stumbling blocks. that
You know,
people
if
go
you're
through.
taking a chance with a neat dog like that, what are you saying?
What?
I don't know. I don't even know where he went.
Wait, if you're taking a chance with that guy, just that chance. You never know. But yeah, what is it?
So the message was to get over your damn fears, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
give you a face.
The message was to sit with yourself and understand what is your triggers and what is your self barriers and tackle those.
Where does therapy fall into this? Like sitting down in a couch and speaking to somebody else, a third party.
Well, I mean, everybody should do it, but not everybody can afford therapy.
Went through therapy and stuff,
I've done it, yeah.
and it has worked.
It has made me more self-aware in that way, yes. And it has taught me how to ask myself the right questions, right?
Yes.
And it's also I've done exercises where you have to like sit with yourself and really kind of like answer these questions as like an exercise. And in doing so, you would have to like really be real with yourself in doing that, right? So I think everybody should have the opportunity in their life to be able to experience therapy, but not everybody could afford it, right? And that's incredibly sad and unfortunate that not everybody can afford therapy because it's very expensive, right? But I feel like if you can and you have the means by it, then do it. At least for a little while, do it, because it really does open your eyes a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you go.
Okay, what I was going to say is, well, you know, it have programs for that. Like the government is good, them kind of programs in terms of the licensed therapists to talk to whoever.
EAP, I
Yeah,
think.
it does, but I think those
so.
systems are also overwhelmed as well, right?
Oh damn!
I don't know.
No, I used it like twice,
right.
and I was getting it through work.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because when I was weekend, it was like extreme
Yeah.
high. Everybody was just like leaving, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go like this. Everybody was just like leaving, so it was like
I turnover.
high turnover. And
Yeah.
I can't take the stress. So then I literally sat down with the guy. The guy flat out was like, "Oh, I know your problem. You're just impatient." Thing. And he just like broke my down. I don't know if he was licensed to do that or whatever, but then I was like, you know what? You make 100 bit of sense. And at that point, I just operate. It was decent.
Yeah.
It didn't take like 2 years of a breakthrough, but you know. What I was going to say is, strictly for like countries, it is going to be read. This is our real height stock. So press Twilight. So this is not. Yeah, this
This is the Twilight for this show.
nah, this I don't know if this conspiracy theory. Okay, we come from countries or
Yeah.
like through the descendants, the ethnicity, or whatever that were colonized by Europeans.
Yeah.
While Europe was colonizing certain countries, India, Africa, these things, and then we end up in the Caribbean as like a hodgepodge,
Yeah.
a melting pot. What the Europeans did do is take stuff from the cultures that they colonized and figure out a way to package them better. So the things that you just described there in terms of self-awareness and stuff, it's pretty much a lot of Eastern religious stuff, except there's like, okay, we know not God thing with all it, but this does in fact get people calm and peaceful. You understand?
Right.
The self-awareness of it. That's what I was asking you. Like,
If that's where it come from, no, it's just come from my personal
no, that's not. No, I tell you.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And based on the therapy and stuff, and they tell you meditation, basically, although you're not going to sit down with the in the lotus position and do the om and that kind of stuff, the exercises and practices, what they did was figure out a way to be like, okay, how this system is work. Okay, this really do anything, just do anything. I'm gonna pick it apart and get this. And this is the bare bones of it.
So like where you would see like in a sense when she said she found the way to ask the right questions.
Right, sir.
That's a
Right, that's
system.
basically you almost explaining the home there. Like you figure out self-realization, you realize yourself. Like that's what the 3 with the thing.
Yeah.
That's
So I mean, anyway, I take it naturally. Self-development is a spiritual.
it's a,
thing.
it's a
That's-
spiritual thing, except
that's- yeah.
through the lenses of our colonizers. It's
Right.
weird that they come and feed you back like because psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, etc. And they come spit it back. It's like, hey, have this thing that looks like exactly like what you're accustomed eating, but
Yeah.
it tastes different because we put our spice in it. And it's like, taste that. And you're like, wow, that's so great. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
I understand, and
It's
go on, be true.
ultimately boils down to a spiritual higher self thing, but the journey towards that is different.
It's, right. So they figure
Yeah.
out, like I said,
Different ways. There's different ways to
get.
get to that, but it really comes
They
back
bear.
down to your higher self.
Because you talk about self-actualization and at a young age, because I tell you now, like I think like the Buddha take a while. When like the man who's the Dalai Lama and whatever take a while to reach the point of
But that's different. That's a different level of what I'm talking about.
no,
though.
because
But-
you're not capital E in Tibet. Them in Tibet, them don't have to deal with who you have to deal with. So
Yeah.
in modern society, you were able to pick up this, do this. You do the same thing. Take that. I was like, okay, this can work in this setting because a lot of the systems, I would say, are against. That's what the point of the he-ho show is because it's like,
Yeah.
it's showing that the system is effing itself, basically.
Well,
You know, you get what I'm saying? So,
I catch what you're saying, but I think for me, it really isn't that complicated for me. It really is
I went
just
to most right.
it really is just me saying to myself, I don't want my insecurities to drive anymore, and I want to drive, and that's what I did.
Okay.
Or that's what I try to do because it's not something that I feel like I've accomplished. I feel like I'm still doing that every day, but that's what I do. I try not to let my insecurities take the wheel, and I drive instead.
Yeah.
Bella drives.
the two could be true at the same time.
I know, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything, but I just watch it as like,
As a-
hey, look, this,
Enlightenment.
I trying to, like rationalize
Yeah.
what I'm hearing. You understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're trying to do, and you're trying to show where this comes from and what.
Oh, no, not that,
Contributes.
not that. I'm trying,
No.
like legit, I just trying to show like, look at how is like a system and she work out in a capitalist society.
Right.
Where this working out and this could work out for her.
Yeah.
And she could find, I don't know, want to say the inner peace or whatever, but she could find the solace, I guess.
Well,
in the
serenity,
confusion, which
the
is-
serenity. Yeah.
The modern world.
I guess.
Because there's
Real big
so
words.
much chaos and toxicity and
Toxicity.
everything around us. I mean, it's not easy, I would say, and I would not say that I don't struggle with it every day. I struggle with it every day. I'm just aware of it.
And that's
I'm just
the first
aware of
step.
it, and
That's the
I
first
think
step.
that's what people should be thinking about, being aware of it. Like just being aware of what are your triggers, what your insecurities are, and asking yourself the question as if I'm operating from my insecurities on the wheel, or is this really what I want?
So the baggage, the throw some
Yeah.
baggage away.
So and I trying to think of an example. Okay, let's use culture shock for example, right? It was my first personal project, and I would tell you I didn't think that I had any. I don't think that I should have been the one doing it. Like I felt like I had imposter syndrome. I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like I didn't have the following to make an impact with it. I felt like people didn't want to hear what I have to say. I felt like people don't like my voice. All of those things came into my mind in doing it, right?
I don't know
And
what Boston syndrome is, so I just nodded my head at this point. I don't know what that is.
it's like, not feeling like you are deserving of what you have.
Oh, okay.
And I felt like I couldn't do it, right? But I did it anyway, right? And I had to stop and ask myself if I'm doing this because I just want to have something, or if I'm doing this because there was a purpose behind it. And there was indeed a purpose behind it, which is everything that we just spoke about, in like allowing people to know enough to care,
Right.
right? And providing a medium. And that's what you guys doing. You provided a medium for people to know enough to care about something.
At least.
At least, right? So I did it. And I did it in spite of feeling like I shouldn't be the one doing it. In spite of feeling like I didn't have the following and nobody know who I am. Or in spite of feeling like I didn't grow up in that cultural side of things. So it shouldn't be me. But then I was like, that's why it should be me. Because I am literally being shocked by the culture. I never went to some of these events. Like this was an authentic experience. Right? And I did it anyway, So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a nice name for it too, culture shock.
Yeah, because we were shocked.
Yeah.
And it was intended to go on for more than just carnival. It was intended to be more than that. Because of my schedule and school and whatnot, I couldn't continue. But we'll see.
Yeah, that probably is get exhausting. Like,
Yeah.
Just sitting event after event and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get this one to go a little 2 events and things. He's like, boy.
As a hermit, but I really.
As a take him on the temple is a hard.
Outside.
Yeah, but going to those events, I think you would appreciate because you just get to sit down
I might.
and it's very real entertaining show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing about me is that I am a bit of an introvert. So after like 20 minutes.
Funny enough, I'm an introvert as well.
Yeah, I
can tell.
Yeah. Most people tell me, you lie. Look at what you just do. You are not. But I am. I just
I
know
can
how
tell.
to extrovert myself. But I get introverts, and you'll tell me if this happens to you. If you socialize long enough, you'll get physically and mentally drained.
Oh.
And you'll like literally your body will start shutting down from just socializing.
Well, I learned to compartmentalize, so I just shut people out.
Really?
Literally just being.
I get extremely exhausted from it. But it's what I do, so.
Yeah, is what it is.
It's what I do.
So, you have any reports that you want to give for the past week? Actually, no, the past 4 days, because we do one Sunday.
What do you have in these last 4 days, bro? I tell you about the chicken finger shit.
No.
Yeah.
What?
I remember you was asking the question how if our fellas, the first question I asked at the show is just like, is the war going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, the war going. The war is real out there.
The region?
Oh, really?
Real in the field.
Between the Latinas,
The
Latinas and the
No, you think Latinos and
everybody.
like they taking all them men. They taking all them men. I want to say all them men, all the training men. Taking it.
They're taking them treatment.
They taking all the training men.
Serious.
I swear, if I
outlandish.
because I got a 0 in Spanish in secondary school, I say, don't worry, ladies, I still
Yeah,
in.
but tell me you didn't go to secondary school talking Spanish, so that's the next thing.
Nah. If if the French we get invasion by the French, all they do. Your last hope God. Viva la France. I write like a French girl. That's the only
So
thing.
you
I
have
don't know how to
confirmed.
comment on that. I don't know what's the solution. Is there a solution? I don't know.
I don't think there's a solution.
No, I
It's-
just think that's just
because
reality.
I'm not talking about. Everybody was on my dog Terrence.
Serious?
At least we could know. I mean,
Oh, I need
What I
backlash.
can say
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
at least Terrence not doing that, ladies.
At least
Terrence
he
stuck
supported
within
local.
the localities of things.
Yeah, he buying local.
He buying local. That's good for the GDP.
I don't know how to comment. I don't know what to say. I don't know.
I like
I
that.
really don't know what to say.
Kung Fu fight.
Nah,
Yeah,
you see her?
yeah.
You go up from Miss Universe now. That was a lovely answer.
That's a nice.
That's a lovely answer.
That was a nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
He moved that bat like Sawan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of, or last question. Speaking of
Last question. Okay.
bat.
Yeah, that's one.
I was doxing you because I was at the research. I guess.
Right.
Things that work.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I see you went in the cricket bat range thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, shorty, you might because she tried like, I don't know what it's called. It's called the hip. Yeah, hip.
Sweep?
Is
She
it
did a
like
sweep?
hip top? She tried it and I was like, oh.
Cover drive.
That was your first time playing cricket?
You try a cover drive.
So I played when I was in primary school. That was my first time since primary school
Oh,
doing
yeah,
it.
that's
So
your first time,
that was
that's
like my first time. Yeah.
Because I was like, no, your friend was like, okay. The fellas was like, I see a dog. I'm not sure who the guys, but I see somebody played down.
Yeah.
The girl was tall with the glasses. She was like, okay. And then when you do it, I was like, why she can swing the bat like that? Because I watched it over a few times now, and I was like, well, before I started troll the guests before they come on the show, I was
Yeah.
because
I got better though. That hit that you saw was maybe like my first couple tries when we started. By the end of the night, I was doing a little better than
You're a
that.
slugger now.
And not, but I was doing a little better than that. That was just the clip that make it to the video.
do you like movies, by the way?
I do.
Okay, great. I might have a task for you.
Okay. Well,
I might have
A
a
cricket
task.
movie or something. I don't know.
No, have you ever heard of the film called Bim, starring Ralph Maraj?
oh yeah.
No.
Right. This is culture shock. So I think you and Gimba
Oh, culture shock that.
You
Make
know,
a video.
it's a movie from 1974. This is racist Trinidad. This is proper pre-independence Trinidad.
Okay.
And it's like shot in that time, like in 1974.
Like a
Yeah.
Calabashari kind of vibe.
No. It's grimy.
Right.
It's real. If you think Trinity bad, this shit is what?
Like blood and thing.
Now, Ralph Maraj,
Yeah.
I don't know about the politics specifically. Well,
Yeah.
but him as an actor,
We really need Ralph Maraj on the show.
no.
So like,
He was crazy in this shit. Crazy in this shit. Wild.
well, okay. I'll take notes of that. You'll send me the notes
No.
on the name
No,
and
no,
stuff
no,
after.
no.
But I know you were saying that was the last question, right? But it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Huh?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I know that was something that maybe you all wanted to kind of touch on as
Well, definitely we
As
want to
well
touch on
before-
cybersecurity.
No,
Yeah,
before
one
we
5
close
minutes.
out.
No,
Yeah, we have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, we have 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, we could go. We could go.
We can go
Hey.
5 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Right, so we have to do this Patreon. Anyway,
Yeah. Cybersecurity.
cybersecurity. So what do you say are the top 5, if it have any, like the top ways in which I can penetrate
Well,
our organization? Not you, like our organization. Like in terms of
on the technical side, you might be so
No,
so
yeah,
skilled.
that's not.
or
well,
as
that's
business
not,
admin.
But the business development side.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a question on that part, right?
right.
When it comes to like proliferation of cybersecurity in this country, because it was now alluding to a problem that we don't really have a good marketing
Yeah, yeah,
uniform or marketing culture in this country. So what are the benefits of cybersecurity to the layman, the average person, or to the average Trinidadian? Why would I need to take cybersecurity seriously?
Well, everybody have a bank account, right? Everybody have a social media profile.
Right.
Your social media profile is like your digital identity,
Right.
right? And it's just like somebody in the physical world could impersonate you and walk into a building and pretend to be you and commit a crime. Somebody could take your identity online and commit a crime, and then you'll be held liable for that. So it's important to understand how to protect yourself against cyber threats. Yourself as a person, like let's take organizations aside from that. I mean, you stand losses, right? If somebody get access to your bank account or your credit card information or where you live and you have kids and your kids now in danger because maybe the person looking into trafficking, those
That
those
shit
are
does
all-
happen. Not the traffic, but people is dox people to that degree, and like the traffic, all of that is threats.
I mean, every time, you would see people reporting that their account get hacked and thing online. But most of the times, the people that doing it, from what I've seen, have a goal behind it is to get financial information from somebody, from their profile or from the person itself, or to like get access. If they're doing Bitcoin or anything, they want to get access to their resources to
Transfer it.
yeah, or to at least or get them to buy into Bitcoin, which is really a scam. I'm pretty sure everybody who listening on would have gotten a message on Instagram from some kind of strange account saying, I make 10,000, or even a friend, I make $10,000 in Bitcoin last week, and this is what I do. And then you go click on a link and you give up
Trojan.
you give up your social media password and account.
Everything.
That's your email and your password. And let's say you just use the same password for everything, and you use the same password to sign into your online banking too. So yeah.
I ask you questions like I on the technical side, but you answer my question. That's basically you answer my question. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but that happens a lot. So there are ways that you could spot these things. One, if it's too good to be true online, it's probably too good to be true, right? That's the number one rule. If it is,
Grandmother always say that.
if it's too good to be true, it probably is too good
That's
to be true.
cybersecurity expert too.
And then if somebody that you know is speaking to you, another flag is like, let's say you and your friend is talking, and he's always telling you, yeah boy, that's how he started the conversation. Yeah boy, so and so happened to me, and today he messaged you and he's like, good morning. That's a flag. That's a flag. Your brother not going to talk to you like that ever.
Oh, I think I might have one. If the girl is way too pretty, you check the mutual friends and it's just like all your thirst bucket friends. She have no post. The account made 2024.
That's not a real person.
It's not a real person. It's probably me.
All your thirsty man brethren is your mutual friends. Yeah.
And then let's talk about another big one, right? Phishing emails is another big one that's happening. So people will send, like, you'll get emails from Amazon.
Not to cut you off, brother.
Yeah.
Phishing as in with a fishing.
That's what it's supposed to sound
Right, so fish, not catch fish, but fish. PH.
Right.
Yeah, right? And it's like phishing, but phishing online. So the malicious actor is trying to fish for your, like, credit card information or something. So a prominent one is the Amazon. From what I've seen, is the Amazon email where they say, Amazon, you need to change your password for your Amazon account. Click here, or your account will be disabled in the next 24 hours. Most people save their credit card information as an automatic save on their account so that they could just buy easy, right? So when you click on the link and you sign in, you actually just give up your credentials over to this, and then they'll get access to you, right? So, and a good way to see those things is most times phishing emails, they will have spelling errors in the body of the message, or the email address would not be from the correct domain. It might be Amazon at Hotmail or Amazon at something, or it will be Amazon and the A is the at sign, or it could be the O will be the at sign in the name, or Amazon.co.k or something. Those are flags because Amazon is Amazon.com.
So if you're dyslexic.
Right?
Yeah. No, it would have a .co.uk, by the way. That is a legit thing. But
But those are ways to see it. And then what a lot of people don't know is when you see a link in an email and you just put the mouse over the link without clicking, you just put it over the link, the hypertext will come up, right, with what link address you're going to go to. And when it's a phishing email, most times that is be gibberish. So you would never see the domain. You'll never see www.amazon.com, It will just be like complete nonsense.
Right.
And you'll know that is another way to know that it is a malicious link as well. And a lot of people are getting are losing access to their accounts that way.
Okay.
And losing money in the process.
There was a big hack, I'm not sure if you know, like that, on a reputable bank down here, I'm not going to call it bank, but where it was like, for some reason, nobody could get access to the bank. It was one of the top 5 that here. I'm not sure if you know about that. And it was like, I'm not sure they get into the system, and it's like situations like that where I could see what you talking about making sense, because obviously a financial institution can't jump out and say, hey, we get hacked. So we're vulnerable now because everybody will just take the stuff.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it, like something like you trying to implement.
But okay, so just to kind of touch on that as well, like it's important for you to know how to spot these things in your personal life and your professional life, because it happens. You could get fished from your work email too.
Yeah. Oh, no, trust me.
Right.
I practice red teaming, so my whole goal is to get in your post.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, so it's important to know for both your professional and personal lives, right? Because it's it's so prominent, and if you like most people will sit and think, you know what, nobody wants to know my information. I had $2 in my bank account. Let them try. Like people will sit down and think that, and they'll take it for granted, right? But just the mere fact that you are associated to other people around you mean that you could be a byproduct by association to get to somebody else, and all of those things. And you have to think about the cyber world in the way that you think about the physical world, right? If you're going outside and you gotta walk down the road right now, you're gonna watch behind you, you're gonna watch in front of you. You're going to look both ways before you cross the street. You're not going to talk to a random, right? If somebody randomly come up and say, I want to get something from you, or I want to give you, if a random man on the street come and say, I want to give you $2,000 right now without, you don't have to do nothing, right? That's what it's like on the cyber world. You probably, in the physical world, you're going to be suspect of this man. Why he want to give me $2,000? He going to grab me and put me in a van or something. Like, those are the things that you're going to think about. But the people, because they don't see threats, physically see threats online, they take that for granted. But it's the same principles apply. Look both ways before you cross the street. Think twice before you click on a link.
Yeah. Excellent advice.
What she's saying is thing. I could tell you an actual story. where it's like based on your KFC records, and I can find out where you live.
Right.
And your KFC records is for some weird reason linked to your email address or your WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I get into your email address, and this is something that, let's just say, has been done. I know where you're living, found out where you was living,
Yeah.
and retrieved. This is on like police work, kind of
Intelligence. Yeah.
intelligence and simple
Yeah,
things, or even a
so
photograph. We could get your geo tag on pictures.
My advice would be is, if you're not privy to cybersecurity awareness training in your organization or on your own, you could just simply just go on YouTube. Like, information is at your fingertips now. Just go on and look up how can I be more safe online, and just do some light reading. It's not hard, and it's not a lot,
Oh,
but
God.
it's just a
Yeah, ask them
couple
to read.
okay, you could watch a video, like a 2-minute video or something, but they're just a couple tips that is going to make life easier for you in protecting yourself online. And those are the morals and values that we now have to now teach our kids as well,
Yes.
right? Because the kids, cyberbullying and all of those things happening right now. They're just like you teach morals and values, your pleases and thank yous, to, again, in the physical world, you have to teach your morals and values in that sphere as well. So it's like, for me, I look at it as two separate, two separate living worlds. Just one is physical and one is online.
Because I think we're going for
But the same principles basically apply
Yeah.
most times. In terms of how you behave online, the same principles mainly apply.
Because you would have to, I guess, because you're not the techie side, so
Mm-hmm.
you'd have to talk to non-techies too and be like, so the clicky click thing, if I click here, and you'll be like, yes, if you move your mouse here,
It's called a
Yeah.
hyperlink.
and you gotta go through
Right.
that.
So just have just put the mouse pointer over the thing, over the link, and let something, the pop-up will come up and it will tell you.
Because I've read deep
right.
stories. But
So
yeah.
we have gotten to the
Yeah,
show.
oh God, yeah, boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, boy.
You wanted to talk
That was
cybersecurity?
more than 5 minutes. No, I
was a-
thought
that was a-
it felt like 5 minutes, but it was more than 5 minutes.
Time flies. Oh, time flies when
Yeah.
we're having fun.
It's deep thing.
So we give you the floor to give your final words. All right. Anything you want to say, ad-lib? Any
Plugs.
plugs, especially
Plugs.
yeah. Where's the culture shock? Yeah. So you
Socials.
plug, you big up everybody.
Zumba.
DJ Ari, you have you on the show.
DJ Ari, I want to see
DJ
someone.
Ari, oh gosh, she's such a sweetheart.
Right.
No, I thank you guys for having me on the show. And I feel like we spoke about so many different things. I think the key takeaway for me from this conversation was really more that finding self-awareness thing, and challenging yourself to not live your life in through the lens of your insecurities, right? And when you are able to do that, you'd see things so much clearer. The things that bother you wouldn't bother you anymore. Jealousy, envy, all of those things kind of starts going out of the window, and you're able to now really find yourself and what works for you, and find peace and happiness in that, and contentment, right? So I think that for me would be my key takeaway. You can follow me on social media at Bella_SKD. I do a little thing called Culture Shock with Bella and Kemba Joe. You can look that up, TT Culture Shock on Instagram. I'm on radio, Hot 93, every Saturday, 3 to 6 p.m. for the 365 with DJ Ari, who's going to come on next.
Plug the show.
Right? And I mean, I just do many things, so be sure to follow me on social media.
You had fun?
Nice.
Yeah.
You had fun?
I had fun.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure and tell. Make sure I blink twice so
know
they
you
will
must-
know you're not being hurt.
Talk. Yeah.
All right, so
Dog, you are?
Mack Indian Girls again. MIGA. We back. We bring it back in. Girls. Bring it back. Piece by piece.
Words. Well, condolences to all the families who have been in some way or form
Affected by this.
disenfranchised. Actually, all the people in Florida right now, the Caribbean diaspora, the Trinidadians, all they be safe. Right? All they make sure and just button down. This is not a time to be drinking like if it was God is a trainee. Some unfortunate news happened the other day. This youth man who got thing with the bullying thing. I don't want to go too far into that, but we need some healing. So, as usual, do good every time and good will follow. We out.